ESG is engaged by organizations that are making big changes to drive big growth. That change usually comes in the form of a new strategy, a strategy that they want to accelerate implementation of in the field and across their sales channels. The strategy change could be a new product, it could be a new message, it could be new branding, could be a partnership or an acquisition, but there's been a significant shift, and the reality is we now need to go operationalize that change. And the situation that organizations are dealing with is, and we all know it, it's common knowledge, 70% of strategies fail. 70% of the best ideas never get fully operationalized and turn into execution at the field level. We find it's helpful for organizational leaders when they're on the front end of the strategy change and they're seeking ways to accelerate implementation of that strategy to really think through three questions. There's the what, the why, and the how. And let's use a real example. So we have a client in the healthcare IT space, and their president and their head of sales and their head of marketing, as they look at this strategy, here's some of the realities. It's an enterprise strategy. So for this organization, there's been a merger. There's now a comprehensive message. It's a complete solution strategy. We've got to sell now with partners in a way that we've never sold with them before. Those are some of the elements of their what. Their what is we've got to sell to CIOs. We've got to position an enterprise solution. We've got to sell with partners, and we have a sales channel that's going to have to evolve. So that's their what. Their why is really the business outcomes that they're after. The why is all about the market share gains. It's about the solution revenue that's got to be attained. It's about specific sales productivity targets in connection with that strategy. Finally, there's the how. The how is getting down to the practical level of sales enablement and saying what content's going to be needed, what tools and technology, what methodology, what coaching, what training. Those are the elements of how. So there are two factors that leadership teams have to grapple with. One is change. What is the degree of change that will be required for the results to be realized, for the strategy to be implemented? The second factor is enablement. How much enablement will be required so that the team is equipped with the right level of content, tools, technology, coaching, reinforcement. The situations that we see, on the one hand, the organization will invest pretty heavily in enablement, but they underestimated the degree of change. And because they underestimate the degree of change, they only get so far. The other situation that we see is the leadership team will have realized it's a huge change. This is a big change management effort, but they will underinvest in enablement. There won't be enough of that content, tools, training for this to be practical at the sales execution level. And in that situation as well, the results are clearly going to be limited. The big idea here is accelerating strategy implementation, which requires a comprehensive approach to sales enablement. That comprehensive approach starts with strategy. Strategy is all about where to go. Which opportunities should I be going after? Which accounts should I be prioritizing? Who should I be selling into in those accounts? Is this about selling to the CIO? What should I be selling to that CIO? What is the solution? What are the components? Secondly, it's about messaging. It's about what to say. What do I say in that first conversation on the phone? What do I say when I send the follow-up email? What do I say when I'm in their office and I'm at the whiteboard and I'm drawing a model and I'm trying to have that interactive discussion that's compelling and it's clear and it's consistent across the team? Next is process. What to do. So let's use the healthcare IT example. It's an enterprise sell. What is the enterprise selling process? That's typically going to require a team selling model because you're selling to clinicians, you're selling to business buyers, you might be selling to a chief medical officer, you might be selling to the VP of nursing. But there are going to be a number of audiences that you're engaging that require you to go to market as a team. So what is that team selling process? What are those defined roles and responsibilities? What are the best practices? What are the planning tools that will align the team around that enterprise selling process? Finally, it's leadership. How to coach. So it's an enterprise strategy. We have effective enterprise level messaging. We have an enterprise sales process. People know where to go. How will managers be equipped to coach to and reinforce that process? What meetings will they lead this week? this month, this quarter, that are going to drive the behaviors that are going to be required for that strategy to come to fruition. When organizations get it right, they certainly address all four of these areas, the where to go and the what to say and the what to do and the how to coach, but they come at it from a change management perspective. They realize this is going to be a process that we're going to go through, and one step at a time we're going to win over the organization, we're going to motivate the troops, we're going to get everyone aligned. And when organizations are seeking to get started, the first thing that we do is decide how mature are we against the four areas. Some organizations will feel like we've got the strategy nailed, but when you look at our messaging and our process, big gaps. Other organizations will look at leadership and coaching and say, we really have not thought through how first-line managers are going to ensure that this strategy gets implemented at a day-to-day practical level through their coaching conversations and how they reinforce the strategy. At the most practical, basic level in terms of what a sales team requires against the four areas, it's playbooks, it's training, and it's reinforcement. When we say playbooks, we just mean content. We mean tools that a salesperson could access from an iPad. They could pull it up on their web browser. They could open up a printed playbook, but they would have content on where to go. They would have messaging on what to say in that conversation. They would have specifics on the process and how to apply it. Managers would have a playbook on how to coach and lead their teams. Training is going to be customized training and development based on the content, based on the playbooks, and how do I do that in my day-to-day world. It could be face-to-face training and you're in a workshop. It could be virtual training. It could be video modules, but you're equipping the organization to execute the strategy. And then thirdly, how do we reinforce over time? How will we measure? How will we certify? How will we continue to make updates to the content and keep it fresh over time and make adjustments? The reality is, any organization that embarks on this journey realizes quickly that every few months the content will get dated and has to be kept fresh. So there are a number of different paths that organizations can take in terms of next steps. One of those paths is for DSG to lead a mini assessment and come on site and help an organization build their strategy implementation plan in collaboration with a core team of stakeholders. Literally bringing marketing and sales and products and services and other thought leaders into a room, and in a one-day session, we're building that strategy implementation plan together. We're defining sales enablement requirements. We're deciding what playbooks, what training, what reinforcement will help us get there faster, will help us ensure that we get there at all, and that the strategy that we've all spent so much time defining turns into the results that we were all excited about in the first place, and we get to the why.